Wednesday, May 8th, 1:09 p.m. New York time. Good afternoon. Welcome to Winning Wall Street's Money. I have a YouTube page. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It's free. I have a Patreon page. My videos are posted real time, same day on my Patreon page. As well, I provide a lot of educational material on my Patreon page and trade ideas. The link's below in the description. If you like this content and want to make a donation one time, well, I have a PayPal and Venmo. The links are below in the description. Did a day trade this morning. I shared that day trade, the process of it. 06:49 a.m. New York time this morning. I made the video. Posted right now on my Patreon page. Again, the link's below, you can see it. There was a pre-market with trade ideas. This was the first financial engine I showed, the first financial asset. It's the S&P 500 futures. You can trade it pre-market. Looking at three grids. On the right is the weekly, middle, the daily, and the left, the intraday 4-hour. I mentioned that the S&P 500 was coming up to the sweet spot, midpoint. A big red candle, midpoint right there. And we were coming up to testing it. So that meant potential trade idea. Deep details are, again, instead of me doing this a second time, it's on the Patreon page. You can see the deep details I mentioned. On the daily chart, I mentioned we broke through here. And this was a key support area in the past, demand zone. And we were doing a reversal here, leaning bearish bias. On the 4-hour chart, I'll open up fully. I want to include here a few days. So we're looking here at 30 days. Zoom in. I mentioned this was a midpoint here on a 4-hour candle. We broke above it. And then yesterday, we had this impulse move here. We tested. Let me zoom out a little bit more, show you. So that red candle, impulse moved down, labeled right there, that purple line. And that was midpoint. Again, prior days, we tested the midpoint, broke above it. And as we broke above it, it was going further up on weakness. And then again, that purple line, impulse move, we tested it. We didn't have a good, big, strong move to the upside. Nope. We tested 52.25 quarters, big round numbers, quarters up there yesterday. And then this big red candle yesterday, that was a 1300 candle to the 1500 time frame. Sort of like a stop hunt. And because it's up here, I would interpret it more of as bearish stop hunt. So I just showed you multiple things that were leaning bearish bias. I drew that blue horizontal line underneath it. It was a swing point off that 4-hour candle. And then overnight, we had this consolidation. We never took out that higher low of that big red candle. And I mentioned if we break below here, I like that setup to look to trade bearish short. We did it. We did it. After I posted the video later in the day, it did it. It was after 7 o'clock it broke down here, around 7:08. So I had enough time to watch my video and set up the charts for alerts. Let's continue. Again, this is the setup and the day trade faster time frame, but it's pre-market. So if you have accounts for the futures, you could certainly have traded that. You could trade it in the futures market as future contracts, or you could have done options in the futures market. Just continue going down. So daily, when I'm day trading, there's financial instruments I look at to determine which one more likely I want to trade. Well, here we're looking at daily chart, 4 grids. Left is the ES. Next here is 10-year yield, US dollar index, euro. Typically looking to see if we broke out of the prior day's range, where we're trading from prior day's range, and are we consolidating, or trending. Well, prior to where we are now, because the market's open right now, the ES had not taken out the higher low of that green candle. Nope, it was still inside of it, where the euro had broken below. So I was leaning to trade the currency of the euro for day trading instead of the ES. You see the dollar broke up too. Well, then I take it to the faster time frame, the intraday. On the 4-hour, same financial instruments, 4 grids, the ES, 10-year yield, dollar, and the euro. So even on here, when I was looking here at my setups, starting at 7 o'clock in the morning, I was still seeing this. Did not occur yet. Actually, I was setting up a little bit before. So I was leaning again towards the euro. But I set alert on here, that key sweet spot. Let's get to, and also the dollar I was focusing on too. Typically, I mentioned too in my video, a lot of details I gave in that video this morning. Typically, when you have a stronger dollar, that's leaning more bearish bias, the ES. See, there's a correlation. Let's do a top down now so you can see further what I was looking at. So this is the ES S&P 500 futures. I'm looking at this daily too. So the ES still inside the range on the monthly. You see, it says right here, monthly. So the monthly candle is still inside the range of last month. Give me sort of bearish bias up there. I showed you on the weekly, we were coming to a sweet spot right there, midpoint. In daily, get broken above here and looking for potential retest that midpoint of that red candle. It had not occurred yet. This is the SPX cash. This had not opened yet. It is now, you can see lower, but mentioned yesterday, we had this dodgy candle on top of a trend, potential reversal. Dodgy candles often mean indecision, potential reversal, depending where it is. Well, that was on top of a trend. And we had that reversal. Yep, bearish bias. I'll show you intraday now. Again, this is the 4-hour. This is the five minute. Actually, you want to put this on a 15-minute to show you. The sessions. This green area is Asian session, 2000 to 2300. The London session, 0200, 0500. When I'm looking at this pre-market too, I label them myself. I want to see if they're trending or an acceleration. Well, that high and low of the Asian session here, the London session did take out the high and then went back inside of it. So again, giving me more bearish bias. It was a divergency because you had this Asian session and then you had a London higher high make and then fill to stay up there later in the day. And as it was getting closer to the 7 o'clock hour, we still hadn't taken out the London high. Nope, you saw all this. This was a key supply zone. Demand zone down here. There were buyers here, but there was weak because they had the impulse move down there. Yep. Let me show you on the next 5-minute chart on the left, 1-minute chart on the right. That 4-hour swing low I mentioned right here. See that blue horizontal line? And I show you again on the ES. Here's that red candle, that 4-hour line. That was again 06:49 a.m. New York time when I shared it. And then after I posted the video, watched it. Notice we were coming down. 5-minute candle. That's where it tested it right there on the 5-minute candle. Then here, the 1 minute candle went down, tested it, and it tested it at 7:08 a.m. 07:08 a.m. Big wick on the bottom on both of these. Buyer stepped in there. Let's continue going forward, see how it looked on the 5 minutes. Next 5 minute made a lower low, lower high. Next 5 minute candle made a lower high, higher low, causing an inside candle right there, indecision, potential reversal. And let's show you on the 1 minute. Gotcha, I'll zoom in some more. This, to me, I saw that. I'll zoom in some more. So this is consolidation, breakdown, consolidation, staircase pattern, lower low. I like this here, so I was labeling this 1 hour highs too. See that blue vertical line? Any opportunities to enter bearish. You got these retest failure. Show you all the 5 minute. You could have traded bearish on the futures contract, or you could have done bear call spreads that expire the same day. I want to show you this up to the 9:30. Yep. 8 o'clock when the New York session opens, massive panic down there. 8:30, huge dump right down there, which happens to take you to the 9 o'clock. Here we are, 9 o'clock. So that 4 hour low right here represents the 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. low. Right there, I drew that, which you already see a reversal coming off of that. Let's zoom up here some more. Yep. And that's the New York session open 0930. Would not recommend to be in the trade any longer. Nope. Because the markets have a different mindset come the New York session versus the pre. So the point is, opportunity to take in that trade from this area. I'll show you it on the 1 minute. For our one pre-market trade. Broke below there. Huge move down. And you see here on the 5 minutes, broke below it. Huge move down. Well, I'm going to show you on the 5 minutes so you can see just as clear too what I'm pointing out to on the ranges. See this horizontal line, 52.25, and the red line, big round number, 5,200. That's a lot of points between there. Again, if you took the trade here, 5205.5, all the way down here, that's a nice move, huge move. If you keep it simple, just one simple trade. If it's had a setup and the trigger, sweet spots. Thank you as always for spending just a little bit of your time with me. That's it for the video. Thanks for watching.